everybody, it's Reggie with Lawyer Interviews, and today we are talking with Gianni Mendes, who is an attorney out of Miami, Florida. Hi, Gianni, how are you?
Hello, Reggie. Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. And Gianni, I understand you practice immigration, entertainment, and business, correct?
Yes, correct. I'm specialized in immigration law for entertainment, so artists, musicians, and people in the business, in the entertainment business, and investors. So people that come here to open commercial enterprises or open anything that has to do with business.
Right. And how long have you been practicing?
Since 2005, so it's quite a long time now.
Well, hey, practice makes perfect, right? Very cool. Well, Gianni, so I would love to talk a little bit about entertainment because first off, you yourself are an entertainer. So tell me how that correlated with your practice.
Yes, so I'm always been a little bit Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde in my life. I've always loved music, and but I've always been very rational too in my life. So I studied, I graduated, but I never left my passions. I always continue dreaming, and that's why I always say in my posts on Instagram and social media, never stop dreaming. No matter what type of job you have, you always have to continue your passion. So my passion is music. So I kept doing both things. It's not very easy, especially when you're a lawyer and supposedly you have to be very serious, right?
Right, right.
But I think that also because I work in the and immigration, my clients are very open-minded, so actually they're happy to know that I understand them very well because I'm a musician as well. So I kept both things. I try to balance both lives, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and so I always say that I have two last names, Mendes Tonuti. So I always say that when I'm in the office, I'm Gianni Tonuti, and then when I am outside, I'm Gianni Mendes.
You're like Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus. One day you're a pop star, the next day you're a lawyer. I love that.
It's a little bit like that, but I like it, and that keeps me alive. Keeps me happy. Because I still pursue my passions and my love.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I had the fortunate opportunity of watching one of your music videos before we started this interview, and I've got to say, I am so impressed. Like, it's so well done. You've got such amazing music, and I just kind of wonder, like, where do you find the time to put like such a quality production together with being a full-time attorney?
Well, I always say we have 24 hours during the day, and sometimes we always say we don't have this, we don't have time to do this, we don't have time to do that. But the truth that is, in 24 hours, you can do a lot of stuff. I recorded that video in Italy. In one day I was there, we recorded everything. In a week I was back. And you can do a lot of things, in 24 hours. You can literally travel the other side of the world, do something and come back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not easy. I'm not going to say it's easy. I'm always like divided into two things. Okay, let me answer this email. And then, so singing something. So that's not easy, but it's doable. It's doable.
Absolutely. Well, I love that. And a lot of people think, oh gosh, I don't have time to pursue a hobby, or not even a hobby, my passion, aside from work. But obviously you made it happen. So, it's something that people should do. How do you think that pursuing your passions have helped you as an advocate or a lawyer?
Well, definitely, in music, like if you want to be good in music, you have to be very detail oriented. You have to be very very detail oriented, and that's the same thing also as a lawyer. As for us, details are everything. So I think that trying to be perfect, when I sing something when I play an instrument, helps a lot when you're working as a lawyer, because that's the same detail oriented mood you gotta have when you're working, right? So I fortunately, there's some people that are like that, and some people that are not. I've always been very detail oriented since I was a kid, and trying to do perfect things. When I play a song, I want to be perfect from the beginning to the end. So I'm that way. So that is very that helps me a lot also when I am a lawyer, because especially in immigration, and you got to be very detail oriented, because details matter so much.
Right. Absolutely. Well, and also you probably have an interesting perspective too on immigration. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, you're half Brazilian, half Italian, correct?
Correct.
So
Yes.
so how has that helped you with, representing clients from all over the world, being, also, of different kind of places you're from? Like what would you say is the biggest benefit for them?
First of all, I've been on the other side too, so I've gone through what the issues and the problems about immigrating here in the US. I speak 4 languages. I speak Italian, Portuguese, English, Spanish, and that helps a lot, of course, because I can speak, the language of my clients most of the times. And I understand their issues. Immigration, it's a big thing for people. You literally change their lives. It's higher responsibility, because they're literally, a lot of pressure, because they're taking care or about the life of someone. But also an immigration lawyer is very has a lot of pressure, because you're literally dealing with the life of someone. So if someone gets a visa denied and has to go back home, you change his life. Absolutely. And so it's important matters sometimes, emotional, because it's all about their lives, and living here in the US. Usually people come here because they dream to be here,
right?
And they see opportunities they don't have in their own country, even if they're famous. I talk with a lot of clients, and they say, hey, I'm famous in my country, but I don't do enough money to do anything else, so I'm looking for something else. I represent famous chefs, for example. And I'm like, well, you have a TV show, you're famous in your own country, why you want to come here?
Yeah.
And they all have their reasons, so when they come here, it's all about expectations and about a change in life. So it's important, so you have a little bit of pressure under that.
Oh, absolutely. And I can't even imagine what kind of counseling is necessary to prep a client for the hard process they're about to embark on. What do you tell clients who are looking to come here when they're first starting out? Be patient. I mean, do you have any advice that you generally give them?
Well, I mean, especially to the people that come here to open a business, first of all, I try to be realistic with them. US is not Wonderland. Mm-hmm. So some people think that, you come here and automatically you're going to be successful. I mean, here it's very different. For example, Italians, I deal with a lot of Italians, but also other people, they come here, they think they know everything. Maybe because they've been successful in their own country, they think that they can come here and replicate what they do in their own country and it's going to be successful. No, I mean, here it's a different country with different rules, and it's not Wonderland. I mean, you have your good things and you have your bad things, because people come here and they think, they're in heaven. I mean, the US is a beautiful place, but it's not perfect. So right. I try to be realistic with them and give them some advice. The advice is that I wish I had when I came here at the beginning, so That's what I try to do. Give advice and try to open their eyes, before they do something wrong and spend a lot of money for nothing.
Exactly. And I think it's really cool too, an interesting perspective probably for your clients. Again, similar to your music, that you've done it, you've been through it yourself. And I'm sure it's just invaluable to them that they have an attorney who has done the process too, because you've been through it. You know what a life-changing experience it can be.
Definitely.
And I think that's really, really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, they like it. We feel a connection right away, because when I say, oh, I play guitar and I know their music, and I have a lot of respect for them, because many of them, are really, really successful. And they won Grammys. They play with the very best artists in the world. So I have a lot of respect to them, because they're a much, much higher level than me, in music, of course, because they're famous. And but that was good also, because my music, the video that you watch, and my productions, a lot of my clients have participated, like after I finish representing them, I say, hey, by the way, you want to talk a little bit about helping me on doing this and doing that? And I work with the producer of Shakira, for example. I work with musicians that have played with Ricky Martin, with J Lo, and I could have never reached them if not from my job, right? Because these people work with the best of the best in the world. So I can say, the same producer of my song is the producer of Shakira, or the same.
That's really cool.
My playing flow. So that's super cool, and it's the peaks of the job.
That's a real big perk of the job. So
Yeah.
did you always know you wanted to do music, immigration, and business, or did you fall into that?
No. I kind of when I graduated from Italy, I came here and I studied here at University of Miami, and then I decided to take the bar in New York because I thought that I would have gone back to Italy after the bar, and I didn't think that I would have stayed here in the U.S. I came here just to study, and then maybe take the bar and go back to my own country, right? But then, I decided to stay here, and I started working. My first job was in California. I went to a very big litigation law firm as a contract attorney, and I worked there for a year. And when I came back to Miami, I had an offer from an immigration law firm, and that was the first time that I got into immigration. I worked there for 3 years and a half. I learned. I had a very good, mentor, and he taught me a lot. And after 3 years and a half, I had these other friends that were lawyers too, and we decided to open our own firm. And that was more than 10 years ago.
Wow.
And then one of my friends were in New York, the other one was in LA, I was in Miami. So we decided, each of us to have an office, and that in a city, and that worked very well, because we started, having this firm with an office in Miami, an office in New York, an office in LA. And that was great for the Italian community, because we were working with a lot of Italians.
Right.
And we started to be very successful, because you don't have a lot of Italian law firms here in the U.S. that have so many offices all over the U.S.
Right.
And that worked very well. And we kind of became successful in that. So
that is so cool. That is so neat. Now, so are you still all across the country, multinational, or are you doing international stuff too?
We're doing international stuff, and we have a great firm with a lot of different offices. And right now we are one of the most important Italian American law firms in the U.S. And that's we're proud, because we're quite young, so it's not easy with law firms that have hundreds and hundreds of years
Right.
to be accomplished. So
absolutely.
yeah.
So now, do you advertise over in Italy at all to individuals or people, or do you keep all of your advertisements to the US?
We try to do both. We try to advertise in Italy and we try to advertise here in the US. I'm a firm believer on getting the clients right at the source.
Right.
So I think it's if you work with some countries, it's good to advertise in that country, so you can get the client when the client is still there before he comes here, right?
Right.
Maybe when he comes here, it's too late, because maybe when he comes here, he's already represented.
Right.
So I'm a firm believer of both, like advertising internationally and locally.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, and I have a question too. How has immigration specifically changed over the last few years, the practice? Is it delayed significantly?
It's changed a lot.
Okay.
And it goes very much with the president. So when Obama was in charge, it was very pro-immigration, and it was kind of easier for us, for we immigration lawyers. Then when Trump came, everything became much more difficult. The policies at federal level were like cut as much as possible, the immigration, and our lives became much more tough with the Trump administration. Right now, it's still too if something's changed with Biden, but it goes very much with the president,
Right.
So it can change drastically, actually. We can literally feel the difference.
Do you tell clients that when you are taking a consultation? Okay. And what do you say to them to prep them?
Yeah, I do say to them that, the immigration can become tougher, easier, or depending on who's in power. And that's the truth, because, the president, they give the policies to USCIS and on how to behave, on how to go. And you can feel it. You can feel the difference, because the cases becomes tougher and tougher. It's more difficult to get approvals. So you can see the difference. You can literally see the difference.
And I'm sure that's probably frustrating for maybe clients who are going through a case and a transition of presidency happens during their case. How does that happen? How does that work usually for them?
Well, let's say that the rules stay the same. So, the law is not changing. It's the way they apply the law that they can be more strict or they can be more flexible, right?
Yeah.
But the law is always the same. The rules are always the same, but it's the way they apply that can change, right? So they can be tougher or they can be more flexible. So, there have been times where it has been much, much easier to get a visa or to get a green card. Now it's more difficult, but who knows? Now with Biden, we'll see if something changes. Now it's very early, to say. For now, nothing has changed much. Plus, with COVID and everything, that has been really crazy for immigration. That has been
I was going to ask you about that. What significant changes have resulted from, I guess, vaccination mandates or travel restrictions for immigration?
Well, for a long time, there was huge travel restrictions. Foreigners could not come here. The only people that could come to the U.S. were like people with a green card or citizens of the U.S. So for a long time, nobody could come here unless, they fell under exceptions, right? Now it's possible to come here, but, you have this vaccination requirements. And some people don't want to get vaccinated, right? Because they have their own beliefs, right?
Mhm.
And that complicates a lot because, for example, now if you want to get a green card, you gotta be vaccinated. There's no way, So for some people, we have so many clients that are in the middle of the process,
Right.
and they're almost at the end, and now you have to tell them, hey, if you want to finish, if you want to get a green card, you gotta get vaccinated. So
Right.
it's kind of complicated because they say, well, but I don't want to get it, and there is no way around.
You're right. Like if you want the green card, you have to. You don't have really a choice, right? If you want to, if you want
You
to.
don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. So it's complicated because some of these people have been in the process for a couple of years already, and now they have these rules. So
Mhm.
it's not easy. It's not easy for COVID has been very tough. Also, oops, sorry.
Oh,
Can
you're
you still
fine. Let's see. Let's view. Hang on. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay,
yeah,
we're good.
someone called me.
You're fine.
Uh, so COVID has been very, very tough on immigration and on immigration lawyers. A lot of my colleagues, a lot of law firms have gone, very, very bad during 2020 because there was no business. It was a tough year for everybody. Tough
Right.
year. There was no business. I mean, immigration was closed. So, if you deal with immigration, what are you going to do?
Right. Right. Absolutely. And did it push back, I guess, from open to close, a typical immigration case, maybe with no complications? How has that extended the amount of time now it takes from beginning to end since the pandemic hit?
Okay, huge delays. I mean, especially at the embassies, at the consulates, you can take 6 months, 8 months to go to an interview. Yes, very, very long time processing.
Wow. And how about for your entertainment clients? Have you seen any significant changes for them? Maybe not on immigration, but just in entertainment law in general.
I mean, performers have suffered a lot too for COVID. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, they couldn't perform anymore for more than a year. So it has been very complicated for performers. So not an easy life with COVID. Now everything is starting back again. But here in the U.S., I think we're lucky, depending on the state where you are. But for example, Florida has been very open and flexible, and that has helped a lot.
Right.
The business, right? Other countries are not so open, and they're still behind,
Mm-hmm.
and still a lot of restrictions.
Right.
So it's not easy, for people that live in these countries to survive year after year because we're already 2 years into this,
Yes.
and it never ends.
Yeah, I don't think it's going away anytime soon. We're
Like
all realizing.
2019, we're 2000. I mean, it's called COVID 2019, COVID-19 because it was end of 19. We're 2022. I mean,
Yeah, we need to update. We need to update. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Gianni, so I would also love to hear what you would offer, any advice to young students out there who are maybe in undergrad and say they want to pursue a career in immigration or entertainment. What would you say would be a great piece of advice you could offer them?
Well, I mean, like I said before, some students they already know what they like and what they want to do, what type of field they want to work. Some others do not. I did not know until later what I wanted to do, and then I went into immigration, and I actually liked it very much. So I always say, keep your mind open, because when you're in school, you don't know really anything. you don't know how it's going to be. You might think that you like this and then you don't like it, So I think that the best way to understand if you like a field or not is maybe doing an internship or doing something something where you can really live, and feel how it is to be a lawyer and deal with corporate stuff rather than litigation, right? I mean, for example, I think that litigation, because of the movies and everything, we all love, and we all picture ourselves in the court, right? Like a movie.
But you can't handle the truth, Tom Cruise.
Exactly. It's very stressful.
Right.
It is a very stressful field. So are you that type of person? For example, I'm more a mediator than a litigator. I always try to find a solution between the parties. But when you're a litigator, you got to litigate. So
right.
First of all, you got to be that type of person, right? So right. And then it's very stressful. It's a very stressful field. So you got to see if you like that, because maybe you like it because you see it in the movie and you picture yourself as a big litigator, but then try to live it and see if you can do it, right?
Yeah.
So
yes.
So when you're in school, keep your mind open, because not always the reality is exactly like you picture it.
Exactly. I think that's such good advice too, because I was similar in law school. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, but I fell into it. And I have friends who knew what they wanted to do, and then they got out practicing and realized they hated it. So it just depends on if you happen to fall in the lucky area, which you like, try some different things. I think that's such a great piece of advice. Keep an open mind, because you just never know.
Even if you don't want to be a lawyer, because, I think that the good thing about getting a law degree is that it can prepare you for so many other things besides being a lawyer. You don't have to be a lawyer, it's mindset that you create when you study and study and study. You create a mindset that is helpful in any other field. So, you can have a lawyer that's totally different, that someone that is graduated in law and is something totally different,
Absolutely.
And it's still super good, so you keep your mind open, because maybe you don't like to be a lawyer, maybe that's not your field, so but the good thing is that when you study law and when you get a law degree, it can prepare you for anything else in life,
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. There's so many, even like CEOs or just people in business or writers.
In politics,
Politics, yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a good degree for a lot of different fields. It really is.
A lot of different, anything that you need to talk.
Right, true. Exactly. Well, Gianni, it's been so great talking to you. And I just have a couple more questions. We're going to ask you some music questions, if you don't mind. And real fast. Okay, so how many music instruments do you play currently?
I play one. I play the guitar.
Okay.
But I've been playing it since I was like 12 years old. So,
wow, very cool.
So it's my main instrument, and I play it good because I've been playing it forever and ever, so.
Very cool. Okay, favorite song that's not yours to just jam out to on your guitar?
That it's not mine. I don't know. Lately, I've been playing, maybe because I like to play my own songs,
right.
I play new songs that are mine, or try to make up something. So I don't know.
That's okay.
Well,
you know what? That's awesome.
Actually, I play the ukulele, the Hawaiian.
Oh, yeah.
And it's different. It's different from a guitar, but it's more or less, you can learn it. So I'm always like trying to. If you see one of my videos, I play the Jose Feliciano Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, right?
Yes,
I play little songs. It's just for fun,
How fun!
And I take this ukulele, this small guitar, and then I play just for fun, Then I take any song and I do it.
I love it. That's awesome. And do you feel like you can, I guess, write? I mean, how long does it take you to write songs? Like, I'm very curious on this whole process. Since you're a creator.
Well, when you're inspired, it doesn't take a long time, right? You gotta get inspired, In my case, I have, my songs have always come out from passion and pain, like suffering,
Yes.
love or whatever, and in that case the song comes out in an hour, with the words and the music and everything, because you're inspired. Music is about inspiration. Right. I don't know how there's some people, that write songs, write without inspiration. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, you gotta be inspired. That's why I think always we all, like me included, to play a night, because that's the moment where there's quietness, and it's a night. It's more mysterious. Musicians love, right, the night.
Right.
Maybe you get more inspired, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but it depends. It can take very little if you're inspired. Otherwise, forget about it.
Very cool. I mean, that is true, though. I think about that when you're being creative and you're trying to come up with your own thing. It's going to be much easier if you've already got like that fuel for that passion to do it, rather than try to force it.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool.
And then you're there, you're writing a song, you're crying. I mean, that's it's a whole process. I mean,
your bottle of wine down, you're just
exactly
feeling the music.
A list for me, it's like that. For me, it's like that. So it's a whole process.
Very cool. Well, and Gianni, so that our viewers know, I mean, where is your music available so that they can take a listen or view your music videos?
Well, my music videos are on YouTube. And my songs are in all major social platforms, from Spotify to SoundCloud to Apple Music, everywhere.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Awesome. And if you don't mind telling our viewers too where they can follow you, we will throw up your username, but if you wouldn't mind just telling them really fast where they can find you on social media and what.
Yeah, on social media, definitely on my Instagram page at Gianni Mendes. Gianni, you can find my links. You can find everything.
Perfect. Well, Gianni, it's been so wonderful talking to you today. And again, I hope everyone checks out your page first off, but also your awesome content, music videos, and music, because it's very, very fun and very cool. So thank you for doing all your interviews, and you have a great day.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.